ready for some football. I don't know about you. Who else could it be but your man Lou? Yeah.
Who else could it be? Me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to Thursday Night Football overtime. Chargers, Chiefs, AFC West family business. If these two teams said they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. Well, if they did, well, that's family business. And man, was this some good old-fashioned AFC West family business or what? We knew this was going to be a good game. This is why Amazon decided to start their broadcast, their very first telecast with this game, because they knew these two teams were going to play each other tough. I was excited about this game. This is probably the first primetime game that we thought was going to be good, that lived up to the billing. We thought the first game of the season with the Bills and Rams was going to be good. That was a dud. We thought the Cowboys and Bucks had a chance to be good. That was a dud. And the best game turned out to be Seahawks and Broncos in week one. We thought that was going to be a blowout, or at least I did. I can't speak for you. So we're getting off to a good start in week number 2. The first thing I have to say, watching this game, effing Justin Herbert, man. God, he's good. God, he's good. Yeah, he threw the pick 6, and I've got a lot to say about that particular play and just the entire sequence there that transpired. But, man, Justin effing Herbert, man. Golly, man. Justin Herbert. The dude can barely. So I'm thinking it's a cracked rib. Look, I'm no doctor, and I did not sleep at the Holiday Inn last night. But my guess is it's a cracked rib. Okay. He was able to function with it barely. He did not want to run. Obviously, he did not want to risk getting hit. He didn't want to have to slide and any of that. And so the most uncomfortable moment of the night wasn't when he laid there on the turf. If you're a Chargers fan, you definitely were holding your breath the entire time that the telecast went to commercial break, because you're like, please get up. He did. But the most awkward and to me scary part was when he tried to run, and then he just get this shit out of my hand. I can't run. I'm like, oh my God, get him out of the game. And then on the very next snap, he throws a ridiculous ball from a different planet. Like everyone was going all goo goo gaga over the throw he made against the Raiders, where he layers it over a defender. There's another defender on the outside, one guy underneath, and he layers it over both of them to a moving target about 35, 40 yards down the field, it seems like. That was a more impressive throw. Like, there was no other place that ball could be, and the defenders were in perfect position. And as Kirk Herbstreit said, he couldn't have ran up and handed it to him any better, partner. That ball was beautifully placed. Is there a better fourth down quarterback in the league? After what he did against the Raiders on fourth down in that game last year, and what he did tonight on fourth down, is there a better fourth down? Like, is there a guy you trust more in the league with a fourth down, 4th and 15, 4th and 7, 4th and 1? Is there a better guy in the league than Justin Herbert? Show me, because I don't know if that guy exists. That throw, utterly ridiculous, okay? And that's with probably a cracked rib. Again, I don't know. I can't confirm nor deny that. Justin Herbert's ridiculous. I want to talk about the pick 6, because really that was the decider in this game. I saw this live, and I was first of all, I picked the Chiefs, so I wanted them to win, but I like good football. And what the Chiefs or what the Chargers were doing was good football. And if you want me to be honest with you, I think the Chargers are the better team here. Okay, I'm going to keep it a buck, okay, with you. I think the Chargers are the better team. I'm not sure the better team won the game tonight. However, the Chargers were changing up the tempo in the second half. From the word go in the second half, they made a conscious effort and decision that we're going to go tempo. We get the football, we're going to put our foot on the gas pedal, and we're not going to ease up. I'm cool with that whole philosophy when you're from 20 to 20. You get inside the 5-yard line. And then that was a big game to Gerald Everett. Okay. That was a 45-yard gain down inside the 5-yard line. I don't need hurry up at this point. The man gets up, and I saw this live. The man gets up and he's like, come get me. Come get me. Send somebody in here for me. And they're like, no, just stay out there. We're not going to give you the ball. You just stay out there. We don't want them subbing. All right, I'll stay in here. Don't throw me this bitch, though. I'm tired. I asked to come out. Don't throw me this rock. I thought they were going to run it. I said, oh, they must be running the ball. That's why they're going to let Gerald Everett stay in the game, because they're definitely not going to throw it to him, right? The guy's begging to get out of the game. He's tired. Why are you going up tempo? Okay, you got these boys on their heels. Now go for the jugular. Get in the huddle. Give me your best play call, and let's go get 6. No, they want to continue to go no huddle. Well, your guys are just as tired as their guys are. And if Gerald Everett isn't exhausted, that's not a pick 6, because he can fight for that ball back inside. Yeah, it wasn't a great placement there, and I don't know who's at fault. Doesn't even matter. If he's not absolutely gassed, he can dive back inside. That ball is incomplete, and we're talking about 2nd and goal from the 6. Instead, he's dog-tired. He can't even pivot back to even give an attempt at the football. His mouthpiece comes out. He's juggling that shit around. It hits the ground. He's not even interested on chasing the guy down for the interception. He should have never been in the game. That was a big mistake on the part of the Chargers. But let's take it a step further, okay? If Asante Samuel Jr. could catch, we're not having this discussion right now. He had a pick thrown right to him, and that looked like a pick 6. I didn't see a Chief in the vicinity. I didn't even know where Mahomes was looking when he threw that ball. All I saw were Chargers. There were 3 of them, and he picked one, and he threw it right to him. And he bobbles it, kicks it, and then doesn't catch it. I actually thought it was a pick initially. Then the one that's the backbreaker, because you're taking points off the board. It looked like a pick 6. I don't know if he's fast enough to outrun Jody Fortson all the way back the other way. But if he picks that ball off in the end zone, the one that Mahomes threw to him that was supposed to be a back shoulder fade, but it wasn't back shoulder and it damn sure wasn't a fade. If he picks that thing off, it's either 6, 104 yards the other way, or you're taking points off the scoreboard. They ended up kicking a field goal. You lose this game by 3. You do the math. I'm no mathematician, okay? I didn't study at Harvard. But my Old Dominion University degree will do just fine here. I can do the math. The Chargers had every opportunity to win this football game. And I'm telling you, they looked like the better team. They dominated the first half, and all they had to show for it was a 7-point lead? Was it a 3-point lead? What was the score? Yeah, 10-7 at half, correct? That's all they had to show for it at halftime. And it felt like they dominated that game in the first half. They know how to play Patrick Mahomes and his Chiefs offense. They know how to play these boys. And that's the essence. That is the fabric of family business. Nobody knows the Chiefs quite like the Chargers do. They're the only team, and I said this on the podcast, they're the only team in the division that decided we're not going to try to outscore these bastards. To hell with that shit. Let the Raiders and the Broncos try that shit. We're going to slow their ass down. We're going to slow their ass down. We're not playing at 35 to 33. We're not playing at 38 to 35 shit with them. Nah, we're not going up there, because teams don't usually beat the Chiefs at their own game. Y'all coming down here with us. Y'all going to play in the 20s with us, and we see how you like that. They had them right where they wanted them. And yeah, it's easy to look at that one decision, that one throw, and that, that one pick 6, and that's a big ass play. Granted, I understand. It's easy to look at that and say that's where this game was lost. But there were so many other plays, and that's the beauty of the Juice Weasel, right? Is there's so many other plays that you can point to and say, Asante Samuel, you catch that pick, the first one, and who knows what happens there. Either you run it for a touchdown or you're in a position for Justin Herbert to go get you 6. Worst case scenario, you're in field goal range already. Before the first snap offensively, you're in field goal range. You catch the second pick, the Chiefs don't get a field goal, and who knows, maybe you take it the distance. I don't know. There were so many opportunities for the Chargers in this game, and they did not take advantage of them. And you know what the Chiefs showed tonight? The utmost respect for the Chargers. Andy Reid deciding to kick a field goal from the 1-yard line. Hell, they were at the half-yard line. And he decided to kick a field goal to tie the game up at 17. That's the utmost respect that he showed to the Chargers. We can't afford to not tie this game up, even though they went 3 and out the last 2 possessions. And the last time they had the ball this deep in their own territory, we almost got a safety. We still don't want to give them an opportunity to flip field position and make us have to do this shit again. We'll take the points. That's a sign of respect. If Andy Reid is playing any other team in the league, he's going for that bitch. But he knows these Chargers, they not to be effed with, okay? And the same can be said on the other side. There's a lot of respect mutually shown because I really feel like there were a couple of times Chargers are hovering around midfield. They're playing Indianapolis. They got Jacksonville next week. They're going for that shit. They're not punting the ball 4th and 2 from their own 47 or 4th and 1 from the 49. They're not punting that shit. You crazy? You know who their head coach is? Man, he's like, man, give me the dice. I'll blow on these, kiss it. I'm going to roll it and hope it comes up nice. Brandon Staley ain't punting that shit, but he's punting against the damn Chiefs. You know why? It's a mutual respect there. Don't nobody else get that. I'm not even sure they get that with the Raiders or the Broncos. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. I just know that Andy Reid game recognized game. And he's looking at the Chargers. He's like, man, they look pretty damn familiar over there. I'm going to take these points. At the 1. When's the last time Andy Reid's done that? I wasn't mad at him. I wasn't exactly glad at him, but I wasn't mad because I understood the psyche there. Like, hey, look, let's just tie this thing up and let's see where it goes from here. Okay? Mike Williams, man, that dude there. I don't know if there's a better receiver with the ball in the air, one-on-one, 50-50. He turns a 50-50 into like an 80-20. Most dudes that are nasty in the 50-50 department, they turn it into a 70-30, maybe a 60-40. He's an 80-20 dude. I don't know if there's anybody better in the game right now at going and getting the ball when it's up in the air. Had the one-hander in the end zone, the pass interference down by the goal line. He still caught that one. Just throw the shit up to Mike and let's just see what happens. When all else fails. You see they stopped giving him one-on-one down the field. You notice Mike Williams wasn't going anywhere without 2 defenders after that touchdown, right? I don't know if he had another catch after that touchdown grab. I'm not sure. He might have had 1 or 2 more, but they weren't deep ones, okay? You didn't see any more shots of Mike Williams down the field with his shot play that they drew up. They weren't letting that happen anymore. Because they realized real quick, hey, man, it's DeAndre Carter. It's Josh Palmer. Hey, I thought Gerald Everett looked damn good tonight. He looks like a receiver, man. I liked him last week against the Raiders. He looks good again tonight. But they're like, man, it's Josh Palmer. It's DeAndre Carter. Somebody else got to beat us. It cannot be Mike Williams, man. They cannot keep doing this. I double dog dare one of these other dudes to beat us. And they couldn't. But all in all, the Chiefs did what they needed to do. How about the rookie, Johnson, over there? Stonewalling Chris Jones to the point where he ran Chris Jones' ass to the other side of the field, and they took advantage of Filer. Chris Jones was like, man, to hell with that shit. This rookie over here, ironclad. I don't want no more. I'm tapping out. Let me get some of Filer on the other side, man. I know him all too well. I be kicking his ass all the time. Let me get some of him. And, the commentators are like, man, all of a sudden he woke up in the 4th quarter. No, his ass went over to the left side of the offensive line in the 4th quarter and got him some. He was done on the right side. Hey, they got themselves one over there because he was absolutely destroying Chris Jones's ass. I mean, stonewalling him. Chris Jones was like, hey, come on, man. Get off me, man. What the hell? He couldn't do nothing. Put his arms up under his damn armpits and had his ass on lock. But Chris Jones went over there to Filer's side. Boy, he had himself a field day. The Chargers, and it was crazy. I heard them talking about the Chargers' schedule after this game. And I was like, damn, if they could have just won this game, they could have got off to like a 5-0 start. Now, they got to win the games they're supposed to win because the Chargers of old, they'll slip up and lose to like Indianapolis or somebody like that, some team they have no business losing to. They got to make sure they take care of the teams. Houston can't, you can't lose to Houston or Jacksonville or any of these teams that, aren't any good, or trying to find themselves. Like, you got to take care of business. But this was an opportunity for the Chargers right here. And they've had success at Arrowhead. They let this one slip through their fingers. But I'm not sure that they're not the better team of these two teams. I'm not sure they're not the better team. They really know how to play Patrick Mahomes. They know how to fluster him. They know how to frustrate him. He made some poor decisions tonight. There were some throws where you're like, Pat, what the hell was that, bro? Like, he got away with a couple. He really, truly did. He got away with a couple. But then he also did some Mahomes shit, and that's what makes him that dude. The little sidearm touchdown pass, that's crazy, but we've seen that one before, right? We've seen him do some shit similar to that. How about the little flick of the wrist after stepping up in the pocket on that third down to Justin Watson? Like, I just knew that ball was going to be knocked down by J.C. Jackson. And somehow he dives, he swings, and that thing hits Justin Watson right here. Almost like he had some kind of a suction device, and it just said right to his hand. All right, Mahomes is crazy, man. He's crazy. But what a fun game that was. And I got to say this about the Chargers too. They did a solid job of stopping the run for the most part tonight. And then when they needed the stop the most, their defense reverted back to last year's defense. They morphed back into the 2021 Chargers rush defense at the absolute worst time of the game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has no interest in breaking a big run. His sole purpose was to hold on to the ball. He's not even running full speed. He's just protecting the football. And they can't even touch him except for Derwin James grabbing his face mask. And then he's like, oh, shit, I'm all the way through to the second level. I guess I can stop holding on to the ball and start running now. Unbelievable. Speaking of Clyde Edwards-Helaire and his face mask, have you guys seen those new shields on these helmets? I saw Zeke with one last night. Was it last night? Or excuse me, Sunday night against the Buccaneers. That was the first time I saw it. I was like, this shit looks all futuristic. Looks like a spaceship helmet, Like Samus is going to come out. I'm like, where's Samus? That shield, and his was dark. Zeke's was dark. Edwards-Helaire was clear. I don't know how I feel about it yet because it makes the face mask itself look weird, almost like you're wearing like a Dorset, which is not really the best face mask you want to wear. But I kind of looked at it close up and I was like, that's pretty dope. I don't know. I got to see it again, but I think I'm feeling that. I was also feeling the Chiefs end zone. The paint, the word Chiefs was in a different font. It was yellow. I enjoyed that. I look at everything. I told you I didn't like the Panthers, logo in the end zone not being all black like I'm accustomed to seeing. I didn't like the white and black logo in the middle of the field. I didn't like that. I like what the Chiefs did with their end zone. I thought that was nice. But all in all, the Chiefs get it done. Big play by the Watson rookie. Man, that's a huge play. I mean, Asante Samuel drops one, you catch yours, and that's really the difference in the game. Massive play there, man. Chris Jones came alive, as I mentioned. He went to the other side and got off. in the second half, specifically in the fourth quarter, made some big plays. I thought Willie Gay, man, this dude is a missile. Now, he would drive me nuts because how many times did we see Willie Gay like a speeding bullet flash on the screen and fly by and Austin Eckler spin or just juke one way and he just goes flying by. And then Eckler picks up like 15 or 17 additional yards. How many times do we see that tonight? But he's always around the ball, man. And he's physical. We know he's fast. We know he can run. I like his game. I thought that in the second half, the Chiefs settled down defensively. Because I was talking to Boss on the phone, and I'm like, they got to get a stop. It's 10-0. They haven't stopped them yet. That was a big drive for the Chiefs to get that touchdown because they were reeling. You know, if they don't score right there when it's 10-0 and cut it to 10-7, they don't score right there. I don't know, man. Their backs were kind of up against the wall at that point of the game. They get the ball back to the Chargers. I'm not sure the Chargers weren't going to score again. So I thought that was a big drive for the Chiefs to kind of stay within arm's length of the Chargers. I thought also special teams wise, I thought, and this is what happens, and I've always said this about guys that are really, return men. When you give them a bigger role on offense, they start to care less about their role as a return man. As a Washington fan, I saw it up close and personal with Antoine Randall. Part of the reason we signed him as a free agent once upon a time was because of his prowess as a punt returner. But when we told him, hey, you're going to be our wide receiver too, he was like, to hell with returning punts. We started calling him Antoine Randall Fell because he didn't want to return any kicks. He would dance one way and then fall down because he didn't want to get hit. He was only concerned about playing offense and being a receiver and catching the football. He didn't want to return punts anymore. Last year, when DeAndre Carter got a bigger, expanded role as a receiver, early in the season, he ran a kickback against the Atlanta Falcons in week 4, and he was a dynamic return man. And then as his role as a receiver expanded, he wasn't running. Everything was, hey, touchback. Like, bro, he kicked that to the goal line. Catch that and run it back. He's like, nah, I'm on offense now. I ain't worried about that. I kind of saw that from him tonight. He didn't go field punts. I thought that the Chiefs were playing with a little bit of fire right before the half by throwing it a couple of times, giving the Chargers an opportunity to get the football back with all their timeouts. And I'm like, you acting like Justin Herbert not over there. And I'm like, hey, DeAndre, run up and catch that football. Fair catch it. You got 3 timeouts. There's like 22 seconds left when you let it hit the ground, and then it caromed, and then it bounced, and they let it die down there, and it was like maybe 9 or 6 seconds left after all of that. Go fair catch that bad boy. You got 3 timeouts. You got Justin Herbert. Why not see if you can't get in the field goal range? It's not going to hurt anything. He didn't want to go catch the football. I thought Sky Moore saved the Chiefs so much field position tonight by running up and catching the football. And I thought the Chargers got the opposite out of DeAndre Carter tonight. That was a fun game. Went exactly the way I expected it to. I knew the Chiefs would find a way to win. But damn it, if I didn't leave this game thinking, I don't know, man. When those two teams, and usually it's the opposite with these two teams. Chargers come in the Arrowhead and win, and then the Chiefs return the favor later in the season and win in at SoFi. I think the home teams are going to hold serve this year. Chargers didn't get it done here. I think they're going to get it done when they go back to SoFi the next time these two teams meet. I really, truly do. They have the antidote for Patrick Mahomes in the offense. When it was Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, or now that it's all these other guys, they got the antidote. They know how to frustrate, Patrick Mahomes and really fluster him a bit. Slammed him down. He was hobbling all over the place. They picked up Travis Kelce and slammed him on the ground. Like they were roughhousing him. They know how to be physical with the Chiefs. I hope that we find out that the prognosis on Justin Herbert isn't anything more than just bruised ribs. He's fine, nothing major. He'll be ready for the next game. I hope that's the case. Didn't seem like it in the kind of pain that he was in, and how he was motioning and how he couldn't barely run. I don't think it's just a bruised rib, but that's the hope. I hope it's not anything serious. Man, he's fun to watch. He's worth the price of admission. He's got to be one of the top quarterbacks in terms of guys that you'd pay money to see. He's got to be up there, high on the list. Some of these throws, man, are just utterly ridiculous. That throw, I just can't get that throw to DeAndre Carter on a 4th down with what I perceive to be a cracked rib. I can't get that throw out of my head. That's a ridiculous throw. Unbelievable. Anyway, I digress. And the Chargers, how many linemen did they lose tonight? Corey Linsley didn't return after halftime. I think their right tackle, Trey Pipkins, didn't come back either. They had to put. I got scared when I saw Storm Norton in the game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like, oh my God, Storm Norton's in the game. Shit's about to go down. It's about to be a hurricane over on the right side. Luckily enough, I don't think anything really drastic happened on the right side. I don't know. Maybe the hit that ultimately hurt Herbert came from Storm Norton. I don't know. I don't want to put that on that man's tab, but they had some injuries tonight. And that's the part that sucks about Thursday night games is you don't get the adequate amount of time that your body is accustomed to getting after playing a grueling game on Sunday. You got to turn around and quickly lace them back up and play again on Sunday. And maybe if this is a Sunday game, they've got Keenan Allen. Maybe they don't, but they're definitely not going to have him for a Thursday night game. Maybe J.C. Jackson is a step faster if this game is on Sunday and is able to knock that ball down that was thrown to Justin Watson for the touchdown. Maybe he's a step quicker with a few more days of rest for that ankle. I don't know. We'll never know. Mahomes had a wrist. I didn't even know he had an injury. But everything tastes better. Everything's that much sweeter. And injuries feel a lot better when you get the win on a Thursday night. So we'll see what happens for all of these guys that got injured tonight. See what the status of those guys are. Let's see. Got a super chat here from Brendan McCloskey. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Brendan McCloskey, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, me, how many picks can you drop? The Chargers, all of them. I mean, that's what it felt like. Like Mahomes was giving that first throw. I'm like, I need the all 22s because I'm like, who's over there? I didn't see a single Chief in sight. Like, who are you throwing the ball to? And how does Asante Samuel drop that ball? Maybe he wasn't expecting it. It came right to him. He's like, oh shit, he's throwing it to me. He dropped it. He kicked it. Maybe he thought it was a soccer ball. I'm not supposed to touch this with my hands. When I hit it with my chest, kick it with my knee. I don't know, but they had opportunities in this game, man. They had their hands all over footballs throughout the course of this game. Let's see if I got any more supers. I got a super chat, or rather a brand new member. Stand up, Nicholas Bouvia. You are officially in the building as the newest member of the MOBB. So glad to have you on board. Fam, you know what to do. Show Nicholas some love. Welcome him with open arms to the MOBB. So glad to have you, Nicholas. Welcome aboard to the squad. Looking forward to chopping it up with you in the near future. Drinkable Measy. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Drinkable Measy. All right. Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, that live all 22 with the route lines was fire. I know they give you so let me just say this. I forgot that not everybody has Amazon Prime. Like at this point, everyone should have Amazon Prime. There's so many different ways to get your hands on Amazon Prime. But I forgot for a second that not everybody does have Amazon Prime. Like this reminded me of when NFL Network had the exclusive rights to the Thursday night games, and then the game after Thanksgiving, the night game when they first brought out the nightcap. That was on NFL Network, and not everybody had NFL Network, and so not everybody was able to watch the games. And when Thursday night football first started, it was only on NFL Network, and a lot of people were complaining that that they wanted to watch the games and they couldn't, and that they needed to put the Thursday night games on local television on one of your local stations so that everybody could watch. And the NFL acquiesced. But this kind of reminded me of that. Like, not everybody has access to Amazon Prime. Because I'm talking to my dad. I'm like, yo, this game's on Amazon Prime, right? And he's like, yeah, nah, I didn't know. Like, I'm like, yo, I don't think multiple people can watch it at the same time. But if they can, I'll give you my password. But I think, Amazon, they're not like Netflix where you can just hand out your password and 18 people could be watching on Netflix at once. Obviously, I'm being facetious, but you can pay for extra people to be able to watch, but you can have up to 3 people watching Netflix at one time. I don't think you can do that on Amazon Prime. One person's watching it. I don't think somebody else can be watching it. So he ended up finding someone that had one that he could watch that didn't care about football. Anyway, I know they had different ways to watch. I didn't access anything other than the normal telecast. Speaking of which, what did you guys think of the broadcast overall? What did you think about the presentation, how it looks? What did you think about the halftime show? Usually I don't listen to the halftime show. I mute the TV. I have no interest in listening to what anybody has to say. But I was like, I'm going to give Dick Sherman and Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tony Gonzalez, and who was that? I don't think it was Melissa Stark. I don't remember who the female that was hosting it was, but I'm like, I'm gonna give them a chance. They didn't move the needle for me, but I did enjoy Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels. I thought they did a really good job. They'll fit right in. I knew both of those guys were going to do a good job. I thought that the different visuals that they put up were uneven. Like, for instance, they showed Joe Lombardi, who's the offensive coordinator of the Chargers. I'm nitpicking. This is what I do. They showed his name. They didn't put a space between his first and last name, which is fine by me if you're going to have a way for me to clearly be able to differentiate between his first and last name. So what did they do? They made his first name in the Chargers yellow, and then his last name was in white. Okay, cool. I can get with that. But then they put Steve Spagnuolo's name on the screen, and it's just all white. So it just says Steve Spagnuolo in one word, right? Steve should have been in red. Spagnuolo should have been in white. I just assumed that's what they were going to do. They didn't do that. So I have a problem with that. You have to keep it consistent. And then at one point, I was like, where are the timeouts? I don't see the timeouts. And then they came from the 2-minute warning. This was in the first half. And all of a sudden, the timeouts were visual. I'm like, where was that the entire, first 28 minutes of the game? Where were the timeouts? Maybe I was tripping and they were there the whole time and I just didn't see them. But I didn't see them until the 2-minute warning. Then it seemed like they were there the rest of the game. Whatever the case may be. It seems like it's going to be totally fine. I had no problems with the telecast. I thought it was well done. What says you guys out there? I didn't watch any of the other options that they give you. Maybe that is fire, and I might need to check it out because I know they said they were experimenting with different ways to give you, to watch the game. So maybe it's something that I might need to check out moving forward. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Big Money Sonny, writes, this game was some old school football. All respect, all family business, Lou. I actually enjoyed this chess match. It's always fun when these two teams get together. I always thoroughly enjoy Chargers and Chiefs because it always ends up like this. I don't remember what score I gave you. I think I said 27-23. I think was my score. I mean, can you get any closer than that without actually hitting it? I don't think I said 27-24. I might have. But I know I said something along those lines of 27-24, 23, something like that. Because that's how these games always go. They always limit the amount of points that the Chiefs score. It's usually not a game that gets into the 30s, unless it goes to overtime or something crazy like that. So this game was kind of how I expected it to go. I didn't expect the Chiefs to struggle as much. Like the 4 punts in the first half, that's the first time Mahomes has done that in his career. I didn't see them having that much success to the point where, because I felt like with all these weapons and what I saw against Arizona, they're going to move it a little bit. I didn't expect them to get into the end zone per se, but I did expect them to get into field goal range once or twice more in the first half and maybe put a little bit more pressure on that Chargers defense. But no, they absolutely were stymied in that first half, found themselves punting quite often, and there were opportunities for that defense to make some plays, and they just didn't take advantage. So this was a fun one to watch. And initially I was like, can the Chiefs get a stop? But I told my dad, before I got off the phone with him, I said, boss, this isn't going to continue. That's not what these two teams do when they play one another. Okay, the Chiefs are going to ultimately start getting some stops. The Chargers aren't going to keep lighting the scoreboard up. This thing's going to bog down, and it's going to end up being played in the 20s somewhere. And that's ultimately what happened. So, Drinkable Measy, thank you for the super chat once again. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Drinkable Measy. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Metaphor, who writes, Mahomes, poor decisions? Nah, only Wentz does that. Ha, ha, ha. I understand what you're trying to do there. No, but Mahomes can do that, though. He's won an MVP. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He has the ability to get away with that, okay? He's built up enough equity with fans everywhere that if he wants to get sloppy with the handles every now and again, it's okay. Okay, like if Patrick Mahomes retired tomorrow, he's a Hall of Fame player already. So he can make poor decisions, force balls into tight windows and get them picked off, or maybe should have been picked off. And people will say, you know what? Great job, Chargers. He struggled last year and people were on his case about him struggling. He's still Patrick Mahomes at the end of the day. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for doubling up. Double up. My guy, Big Money Sonny writes, we still rocking 6-0. Hashtag top 5 dead or alive. You really have people saying that. Like I saw somebody hashtag that on Twitter today, and I was like, oh my God. He's really got people out here saying top 5 dead or alive. Good job, man. Good job. Let's see. These Luckies. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, what up, Lou? Just making sure you're on your toes. Of course. You're always making sure I'm on my toes. Always. always. Just Plain Steve. I like that name. Just Plain Steve. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, should they have pulled Herbert at the end of the game? It wasn't quite out of reach, but why risk your star quarterback? So this is the stuff that legends are made of. What was the first thing I came on and said tonight? Was that effing Justin Herbert. You know why I said that? because this man battled through an injured rib to lead this team within a onside kick and an opportunity to tie this football game up with some ridiculous throws. That's what legends have made of. All right. That's how you create this larger than life, figure for yourself as a player, because people are going to go back to that moment. And what if they would have gotten it? They almost got the onside kick. The Chiefs muffed it. What if they recover that onside kick? He gets the football back and throws another touchdown pass and they win. This would have gone down as the Justin Herbert rib game. Like, I get it. I know where you're coming from. But if he says I can play, it's not like RG3 or Robert Griffin III, when his knee is essentially shredded and he coaxes the coaching staff to put him back in the game and then he destroys his knee. Like, it's his rib. And if he can't protect himself, then you get him out of there. But he was able to move enough. He wasn't putting himself in harm's way. And as you can see, he could still throw the football. So I think he was fine in the game. If he were to continue to get hit, if they couldn't protect him, then you got to get him out of there. They had some backups on the offensive line. And if those guys couldn't protect, I think Will Clapp was in the game at center. And if I'm not mistaken, Storm Norton was in at right tackle. If those guys couldn't hold up, then you got to get him out of the game. But they were holding up. He was fine. I think after he came back from the initial injury, I think he only got hit one more time. And that's when Frank Clark wrapped him up. And that looked like a harmless wrap up. But that's when he's in some real pain. Because that didn't seem like a really savage hit. Even the one that got him hurt didn't look like it was all that bad. And, Michael Danner looked like he fell off to the side. But they protected him pretty well. So I think if they felt like we can't protect Justin, we got to get him out of there, they would have taken him out. But they were protecting him. He was getting rid of the football, and he was throwing dimes still. So you gotta allow, just in boxing, you gotta allow a champion to fall on his sword. And it's the job of the trainer to protect the fighter when he can no longer protect himself. But if that guy's still fighting, if that guy's still showing the will to fight, he's not just sitting there taking blows, you got to give that guy a chance to remain champion or to go out and win the fight if he's showing you that he's still willing to fight. Same thing with a quarterback. If this guy's showing you he still wants to fight and he's still protecting himself, and obviously the offensive line is protecting him, it's the coach's job to protect the player from himself. Just like it's the job of a trainer or a cornerman to protect the fighter from himself. If he can't protect himself and he's taking copious amounts of blows, you got to stop the fight. There's another fight to be had down the road. We can't let you end your career tonight or your life. But if you're out here trading blows and you're still fighting, I'm going to give you every opportunity until you tell me I can't do this, or I see you're not in a good enough shape to fight. I'm going to let you fight. Justin Herbert was out there slinging it, man. And they were protecting him. So I didn't have a problem with them keeping him in the game. Nicholas Bovia, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Once again, thank you for becoming a member of the MOBB, who writes, been watching for over a year now, brother. Always tune in. Military recruiter, so always on the road. Let's eat some lion this weekend. Hashtag HTT. Hashtag HTTC. Hashtag upstate New York. Oh, awesome, man. Awesome. I'm ready, man. Somebody said today we should be eating some lion chops this weekend. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Good to know we got fans all over the place, upstate New York, everywhere, man. Awesome, awesome, Nicholas. Glad to have you along. Captain Coldiron. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Captain Coldiron writes, gotta say the highlight for me was Derwin James going WWE on Kelsey. Man, that was sick. And I wasn't sure that it wasn't a fumble because then J.C. Jackson came in there ripping at the thing. I think he was down ultimately, but I mean, that was badass. I mean, he literally picked him up. And Kelsey is not a small man. Kelsey is every bit of, 6'5", probably like 250, 255. Kelsey's a big boy, man. And he scooped him up right off his feet, on some Farouk, Ron Johnson type stuff. I remember one of his moves was he would pick you up and slam you down like that, almost like a spine buster, but not quite a spine buster because he wouldn't go down on the ground. He would just throw you down. And that's kind of like what he did to Travis Kelce. I was like, damn, okay, Derwin, somebody's in the weight room. He was all over the field too. Derwin James is a beast. Joe Rockhead J, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Joe Rockhead J writes, what's good, Lou? Better pass, Herbert to Carter or Wentz to Dotson second TD? It's not even close. It's Herbert to Carter. I mean, that pass to Wentz, from Wentz to Dotson, that wasn't even a good ball. Wentz even said it himself. He's like, that wasn't even a good ball. He had to make a great adjustment to that ball. DeAndre Carter didn't have to do anything but put his hands up. The ball was perfectly placed, and the defender was right there. Right there. And again, you have to also consider the circumstances in which he's throwing that football. The guy's probably got a cracked rib on a 4th and 1, no less. The game's on the line. They could have thrown a 2-yard pass and gotten the first down. He's chucking it 35, 40 yards down the field on a frozen rope. Are you kidding me? It's not even a competition. Metaphor, I knew you were being tongue-in-cheek there. I thought you got that I understood that you were being tongue-in-cheek. I guess we weren't on the same page there. Anyway, Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Metaphor writes, to more important news, Pepsi Rookie of the Week is Jahan Dotson. Yes, indeed. So glad to see the young fella getting a little recognition. And again, it's crazy because he had a good game, but he only had 3 catches, but 2 of them were for touchdowns. 2 of them were tutties. So that changes the whole game. I love it. And like I said, he's going to have an opportunity to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. We'll see how the rest of his season goes. Obviously, just 1 week. But with no quarterback in the mix, it opens the door up wide for a guy like Jahan Dotson. I mean, if it's not a quarterback, then, I mean, it's probably going to be a receiver, right? It could be a running back, but I don't think there are any dominant rookie running backs. Remember, we didn't have a first-round running back this year. I think it's ultimately going to be a wide receiver. Why not Jahan Dotson? I'm not saying. I'm just saying. We'll see. Anyway, we got some time. We got some time left. So let's go back to the top. My guy, Ree. Justin Herbert looks like an actor playing a jock on the Disney Channel. He does. That's spot on. Justin Herbert, man, when God was passing out attributes, he got in every single line, and he didn't miss. Like, damn, got the hair, got, all height, arm strength, athleticism, everything, man. I mean, Justin Herbert, he's the complete package, man. No homo, pause, but he's got it all. I know. He looks like he could be on Disney. And Disney's not just picking anybody. They go for a certain profile. He fits that profile to a T. Reese says Brandon Staley looks like the assistant manager of a retail store. I could go for that one too. Absolutely. I could see him being the manager at like a Dick's Sporting Goods. I could go for that. Absolutely. Reese says, Saints week, Lou. Gag me with a spoon. Hate playing these guys. I didn't know what to do. I've already made my picks. I'm going to give out my picks tomorrow on the podcast, but I looked at that thing long and hard, and then you've got a list of injuries going into the game that make me uncomfortable. I still don't know what to make of the Saints. I watched that game, and they were dead in the water for 3/4 of that football game, and then they just rose from the ashes like a phoenix in the 4th quarter. I still don't know what to make of them. But boy, it's similar to the Chargers knowing how to play the Chiefs. Boy, do they know how to play Brady's ass in the Buccaneers. That's going to be a fun one there. Reese says, bloody hell. Half of the Chargers playbook is throws to Eckler. And why not? He's a walking 7-yard gain, it seems like. Every time he touches it, he's getting like 5 or 6 or 7 yards. And it seems like he often makes the first guy miss. I don't see anything wrong with it. You could do a hell of a lot worse than checking it down to Austin Eckler. That's for damn sure. Derek B says, no, Brandon Staley looks like DJ Quails from Hustle and Flow. I could see that a little bit. I could see what people like to say when they don't quite give them all the credit for that person looks like is they favor. I think he favors him. I could see that a little bit. Atlas writes, the more I see Chiefs games, the more I feel Mahomes hasn't progressed as a passer and has even regressed. He looked Winston-esque out there and got lucky. Herbert looks like the one. There's been, some criticism of Mahomes. I think some of it founded, some of it unfounded. At the end of the day, Mahomes is going to make something happen, and I think that's what makes him special. Like the touchdown toss, for instance, he steps up, flick of the wrist, puts the ball right where it needs to be. I do think that he has been spoiled, and I've seen this with quarterbacks before who want to push the football vertically, who came into the league and everything went right and they could do no wrong, and then teams adjust and they say, okay, we're not allowing you to go vertical on us anymore. We're going to make you nickel and dime your way down the field. Are you patient enough to take what we're giving you underneath and win the football game going 21 of 30 for 202 yards and 1 touchdown? Are you patient enough to do that? And there are a lot of people that don't think Mahomes is patient enough to take what the defense is giving him. He's going to force it at some point, and he's going to make a mistake or two. And we've seen some of that. We saw a lot of that last year. But you say what you want about him maybe not progressing as a passer, but then there's games like last week against Arizona where he's 30 of 39 for 350 and 5 touchdowns, and they're up 37-7 midway through the third quarter. I mean, you got to pick your poison with Mahomes, because if you bring that safety up in the box or he gets one-on-one, he's going to carve you up. If you decide to blitz him, he's going to light you up. And they actually got aggressive with his ass tonight. Like, the Chargers showed no mercy. They were on some Cobra Kai shit. They came up, rushed 6, 0 blitz, no safety help, man across the board, and they got to his ass and they sacked him and they hit him. And that's one thing about Mahomes. Another thing about Mahomes is you can fluster him if you hit him and get to him early. Same thing with Brady. You get to his ass early in the game and often, you can disrupt him and really get him to speed up his internal clock. I thought they did that to him in the first half. That's part of the reason why he was all over the place. They got to him. They were coming after his ass, blitzing him like crazy. He's not used to that. When teams blitz him, he's used to carving them up. Arizona tried that shit last week, and he ate their ass alive. It's different when you're staring at a family member, though. It's different. I never felt like he was Winston-esque. I did think that one throw, though, I was like, what the hell was that about? But I think Winston-esque is a bit much. I think that's a little bit harsh. Got a couple super chats. Let's see. Super chat here from Smack City. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Smack City writes, Not a good way to start my week 2 winners and losers picks, LOL. I mean, this was a tough one. And if you picked the Chargers, you were feeling good about your pick at 17-7. You know, you were feeling damn good. Hell, you probably were feeling good about it after that catch and run by Gerald Everett down inside the 10-yard line. Shit, you were probably feeling good at 17 all with them first and goal inside the 10. You're like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. We're about to take the lead up 7. The Chiefs really haven't shown the ability to move the football with any consistency tonight. A touchdown would have been large right there. Touchdown would have been large right there. But it ultimately went the other way. A couple plays later, or one play later. So, I mean, I love the Thursday night games. Everyone, you know, I love the gimmies. I love the low-hanging fruit Thursday night games. But you know what? I also love the Thursday night games that could go either way. Because that's going to show, you know, who gets it and who doesn't. And some of it is luck too, obviously. But I like when half of the, you know, people on the sheet have a loss going into Sunday. And it could have went either way. Because I'm pretty sure this was one of those games where a lot of people said, hey, I think the Chargers can win this game. You know, you're not alone there. I didn't pick the Chargers, obviously, but you're not alone there. 1,800 shots. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, how your picks looking so far? Only one wrong from me, and that's because of Russ. My picks, what are you referring to? Like overall, there's no way you went 15-1 in week 1. Ain't no way. And again, I've said this already. Don't be the guy that comes to me and says, hey, you know, I'm 15-1. If you didn't get in winners and losers, if you didn't get in a weekly pick 'em, I don't believe you. You need more people. However, week 1 was impossible to go 15-1. And I thought there were some people, you know, that were in the leagues and did play in the pick 'em pool that had some outstanding sheets. And I'm like, man, that is some yeoman-like work. It takes some balls to pick the Giants over the Titans. It takes some balls to pick the Bears over the 49ers. Like, these are some of the picks. I thought about Steelers over Bengals, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I really wanted to do Vikings over Packers. I saw that one coming, but I didn't have the balls to pull the trigger. But there's no way that you on the same sheet picked 49ers, picked Bears, Giants, and I think there was one more game where I'm like, no way. There's no way. Those were the two that stuck out like a sore thumb. There's no way you picked the Steelers as well. No way. There's no way. I can't buy that. Sorry. Not sorry. No way. I can't buy that one. 1,800 shots. AfroCat 2136. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, love seeing DeAndre Carter out there doing his thing. I do too. I love DeAndre Carter. Love what he did for us last year. And, you know, again, they chose essentially what they did was they chose Dax Milne over DeAndre Carter. That's what they did. Even though they both were on the roster last year. Obviously, there was no Jahan Dotson on the roster last year. And so that bumped DeAndre Carter down 1, which that 1 is off the roster. And then it became a decision, him or Dax Milne. They drafted Milne, so they're going to keep him. They think Milne has a chance to be a better receiver than DeAndre Carter. So they went with the younger guy with the upside that they're looking for. I got no problems with it, and I wish him nothing but the best. And I'd like to think that we gave him a new lease on life. Like, we made the rest of the league take notice to DeAndre Carter that not only can he return kicks for you, but the guy can actually play receiver too if you give him the opportunity. And so now I think he's going to be around for a while. And I'd like to think that it's because of the opportunity that he got in Washington last year. Before us, he hadn't scored a touchdown in his NFL career, and he had already been on like 4 different teams. you know? So, and remember, he had been in the league and bouncing around since like 2015 or 16. So, yeah, it is what it is. All right, so we've hit the hour mark. I still got about a good 10 minutes in me or so. Let's see where we left off from a hashtag perspective. I know that Atlas, I think, was the last one that I had read. Let's see. Damn, I felt like I was a lot lower than this. Okay, that's the Atlas comment right there. So Derek B writes, for a second, I thought we were about to have another RG3 situation with Staley leaving Herbert out there. I never felt that way. I never felt like he was in harm's way or in imminent danger. Again, the Chiefs were, or the Chargers were protecting him up front. It's not like he was getting clobbered the entire night and they couldn't protect him. If that were the case, then it would have been pure negligence on the part, gross negligence on the part of Brandon Staley. But I never felt like he was in danger. The throw on fourth down, there was nobody even within a 5-yard radius of him. He had a clean pocket on the touchdown throw. That was a fourth down as well. There was nobody within 2 yards of him in any direction. Like, felt like he was protected. He did get hit once by Frank Clark. Other than that, I don't think he got hit again. Like, I didn't feel like it was gross negligence. I didn't. Again, if you felt like if he had taken one hardy shot, you go, okay, yeah, you got it. Come on. All right, Chase, get in there. Go get him. Come on. Come on. No. I don't want to hear it. This isn't worth losing you, right? But that never happened. So you got to give this dude an opportunity. And he showed you what he can do. Are you really going to take him out of the game if he's like, I can play, coach? The guy that gives you the best chance to win, are you really going to take him out the game at that? I don't think you can do that. Got another super chat. Tony P56, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Tony P writes, let's talk about how Payne sunned Sheriff. He did. Now, I will say, man, Sheriff was out there hoeing some cats, though. Man, he mollywopped and depleted James Smith-Williams and Cole Holcomb. I'm talking about earhold these boys. Like, damn, you ain't even have to do them like that. You act like y'all ain't used to be on the same team or something. Like, I'm going to get James Smith-Williams back for that shit he did to me at practice last year in August. Like, he hit him like he had some resentment for that man. I was like, damn. He destroyed Cole Holcomb on the play. I'm like, yikes, zoinks. But, yeah, Deron, he got the best of him. All right. Let's go back to the top. We got a few more minutes here. We left off at my guy, Derek B. And let's see. Rich says, that time he couldn't run was devastating to watch, but my God, that throw was amazing to DeAndre Carter. Again, after that play, I was thinking, man, do we should we get him out of there? Like that was the one time where I was like, wait a minute. Like Kirk Herbstreit said, he could have walked to the first down and took a knee. It was no chief around him, and they just needed a yard. And the man thought otherwise and said, I ain't even trying to run. Possibly have a chief roll up on me and have to then slide or abruptly have to hit the turf. I'm not in a position to make any sudden movements. And then it hurt so bad, he had to pump fake the throw out of bounds to get the ball to go out of bounds. Like, he couldn't even just throw it out of bounds. he tried to throw it. He was like, oh, hold on. Let me do this again and slower. Like at that point, I was like, maybe Brandon Staley should get him out. But then he goes back into the huddle and throws the most gorgeous pass of the season of any quarterback this year to this point. Where they do that at? At that point, I'm like, you can't take him out of the game. If you can protect him, you can't take him out of the game. But that was hard to watch. Like Medusa. Reese says, we made the blueprint to beat Mahomes. I mean, I'm not sure if that was the blueprint or not. His offensive line was in shambles by the time they got to the Super Bowl. I would have loved to have seen Mahomes with this offensive line against your Buccaneers team in the Super Bowl and see if the game would have turned out the same. Maybe you did give the rest of the league the blueprint. It's hard to say that, I always laugh at quote unquote blueprints because not everybody can execute what one team can do. Not everybody can do what the Buccaneers can do, defensively. Not everybody can get after you the way that they can. Not everybody can stop the run the way that the Bucs stop the run. Not everybody has a secondary that flies around and is physical. Not everybody has Levante David and Devin White at linebacker and can do so many things because of the freedoms that they give you with their athleticism and smarts. Not everybody has that. So you can't be like, well, on Sunday night, Chris Collinsworth, well, this is the blueprint to stop the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, this is impressive. And I'm like, no shit. Everyone would like to rush 4, get pressure on the quarterback, drop 7, and, have linebackers that are animals and have a nose for the football that can fly around. But Devin Whites don't grow on trees. Levante Davids don't grow on trees. And oh, by the way, not everybody can just rush 4 and get to the quarterback. But it sounds great. Awesome. I think he said that. I think it was the Bills game that he said, this is the blueprint to beat the Rams. Oh, okay, cool. All right. Guess everybody's got the Bills personnel to be able to do that. Nice. I think that's the game he said it, and I was like, okay, whatever. Anyway, I digress. Let's see. Any other comments before we get out of here? Derek B says Skip Bayless tweeted that he would take Burrow over Mahomes, Herbert, or Allen. Shannon, come get your boy. Again, Skip Bayless says things to get a reaction out of you. Again, that's his job. His job is to pick a side that is unfavorable so that you can say this guy is nuts, but you can't turn it off. Skip Bayless is the best troll in the media right now, and he's so good at it. And you guys fall for it hook, line, and sinker. He's made a living off of taking a simple conversation or argument, turning it upside down on its head where it makes absolutely no sense. And he argues the thing that makes no sense. And you go, this guy's crazy. And you live for Shannon to set him straight. It's a timeless formula that seems to work to no end. Of course, that's asinine. Of course, it's asinine. Let's see. Oh, some of y'all didn't like the shield. I gotta see it again. It looks futuristic, but it also looks weird, but it also looks dope at the same time. Zeke's, I told you, he looked like he had on a Samus helmet, like straight out of Metroid. I gotta see some other dudes rocking it. It does look a little weird, but then at the same time, it does look sweet. I gotta see it again. Derek B says, "What? It took Gay like 58 minutes to figure out how to tackle Eckler. He's not lying, man. I swear he was flying. I'm like, bro, can you stop missing Austin Eckler? This shit is getting embarrassing now. You're not lying. You're not lying, man. Anyway, I digress. I don't see any more comments. I think we can get out of here. You guys are pretty much talking amongst yourselves. We had about 5 more minutes, but I think I can exit stage left. Sports Talker 69 writes, this is going to be the new Rivers versus Tom rivalry. Allen versus Mahomes equals Brady versus Peyton 2.0. I think this has a chance if you're talking Mahomes versus Herbert. It has a chance to be special because they're in the same division and they're gonna like Brady was never in the same division with Peyton Manning. So they never played each other twice a year, like automatically. They would, in order to play twice a year, they usually played every year because the Colts would win their division or the Broncos would win their division, and Brady always won the AFC East. So they would always automatically play each other once. But in order to play that second time, it would have to be a meeting in the playoffs. These guys are going to do battle twice a year, right off the rip. We know we're going to get 2 Mahomes Herbert matchups, and you may even get a third when, Herbert is able to drag that Chargers team to the postseason. I don't think he's going to have to drag this roster, though. This roster is loaded, especially on the defensive side. I don't love the skill position guys that they have. I do really I've always been a fan of Gerald Everett, and I think he's going to be a great addition to their team. Clearly, Herbert has some chemistry with him already. But after, the 3, I'm still lukewarm on Josh Palmer. And so he's got to grow on me. I like the fact that he caught a touchdown tonight. He needs confidence. So that was good to see. And DeAndre Carter gives them another weapon. They've got enough, between Austin Eckler, a healthy Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. I think Josh Palmer's solid. And, DeAndre Carter, you sprinkle in, Eckler out of the backfield and Gerald Everett. I think they've got enough weapons. So this is a dangerous team. I really like the Chargers. I really, truly do. They could play each other 3 times. We'll see. Metaphor says Gibby double this week, 100 rushing and 100 receiving. Nah, that's super rare. I think Christian McCaffrey was the last dude to do something like that. That's really hard to do. It's rare too in this league. Ree says Andy Reid looks like he'd keep your ball if you kicked it in his yard. I could see that. I can definitely see that. Kirk Herbstreit looks like Herbert's asshole dad in that same Disney movie. I could see that as well. I can definitely see that as well. Tony P56, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Tony P56 says rank the AFC West QBs in their teams. So that's 2 different discussions. Quarterbacks in that division, I would go Mahomes. I then would go Herbert, Wilson, and then obviously Derek Carr bringing up the rear. I don't know. Maybe 3 years from now, it's reversed and it's Herbert, Mahomes, Wilson, and Carr. But right now, it's Mahomes, Herbert, Wilson, and then Carr. The teams in the division, I think the Chargers are actually the best team, however. But you got to win games. I could sit here and say that, but nobody cares about how good of a team you are if you're not winning these types of ball games. And that's been their undoing. They find ways to lose close ball games. And until they start winning those games, they're going to continue to be a lovable loser. You know, just slightly missing the postseason. Nobody wants to play the Chargers, but they're not in the playoffs. So what difference does it make? I think they're the best team in the division, but I'm gonna stick with the team that I know knows how to get it done, and that's the Chiefs. But from a talent perspective, I think the Chargers are the most talented team in that division. But I'll go with the Chiefs because they know how to win, and I trust Andy Reid. After seeing the shit show that Hackett had on Monday, give me the Chargers second. I'll take the Broncos third. And because I still don't trust Josh McDaniels yet, but he may leapfrog, the Broncos because Nathaniel Hackett might be an idiot. He just might be. But we'll see. And I don't like name calling. That's not nice. But that was some real tomfoolery he pulled on Monday. And he got me eliminated out of the survivor pool. That's an unforgivable sin he committed. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a new, head coach, first-time head coach. He was overwhelmed by the moment. I'll judge him on what he does moving forward. He does anything else stupid, and I'm moving him to the back of the bus. But the Broncos are third right now because I don't trust Nathaniel Hackett. And then the Raiders are fourth. Anyway. I digress. Ree says Amazon's picture quality is crispy. Fox and CBS should take notes. So they've got like 4K production, and it was really crisp. It was definitely sharp. We'll see. It's a copycat league with these broadcasting networks. I remember when Fox first showed us that clear ass picture when they score a touchdown and they would zoom in and that shit was like you were there, like you could reach out and touch the guy. And then CBS started doing it too. These networks, they pick up on it really quick. So we'll probably see these networks. I can tell you this, there's nothing clearer than, and I don't understand why CBS's NFL doesn't know that, but there's nothing clearer than college football on CBS. I swear that shit is in like 450,000K. Like that picture right there is the clearest and the cleanest and the crispest picture you can get. College football on CBS. It's like they use different cameras for college football games or something. I don't know. Chris Lott writes, what is the key for our Commanders to go 2-0? Kind of similar to what we did against Jacksonville. Convert on third downs on offense. Get off the field on third downs on defense. You have to take care of the football. You cannot, turn the ball over 3 times like you did against Jacksonville. Score touchdowns. Don't settle for field goals like you did against Jacksonville. Like a lot of the things that we did are really, transferable traits that if you continue to do those things, you're going to win a lot of football games. But the thing you can't do is go to sleep behind the wheel for, a quarter and a half offensively. You can't turn it over 3 times. You can't have the defensive lapses and mistakes that we had that other teams will take advantage of. Like those are the things you have to erase. But a lot of the things that we did in that game, we did them well. We scored touchdowns. We didn't settle for field goals. We got off the field on third downs. We converted third downs ourselves. We were 2 of 2 in the red zone. Like these are all things that if you continue to do these things, you're going to win a lot of football games. You have to erase a lot of the negative stuff that we did too. Anyway, I digress. So we've hit our landmark time-wise. This was a fun game. I'm not sure that the best team tonight won. Justin Herbert is an alien. And the Chargers if they can figure out how to win close games, they're going to be a dangerous team. The Chiefs are fine. I don't worry about the Chiefs. You know, they do what they did tonight with what good teams do, find a way to win. That's what they did. And so you'll never get any complaints out of me when you find a way to win. It doesn't have to be pretty, just gritty, and most importantly, a dub. And that's what the Chiefs did tonight. So that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on Thursday Night Football Overtime. Chiefs get the win 27-24 over their family members in the AFC West, the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers dropped to 1-1 on the season. Chiefs are now 2-0, the only undefeated team remaining in the AFC West. I did not think I would be saying that after the second game of the season. No way you could have got me to believe the Broncos would have lost to the Seattle Seahawks in week 1, but they're 0-1. The Raiders are 0-1. These Chargers are now 1-1, and the Chiefs sit atop the AFC West all alone at 2-0. So that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. You guys know the drill. Get off the bench, get in the game, and kick it with me, your man Louie T. Until next time, you guys have a good one. God bless, and good night.
LouieTeeNetwork.